Bob Gaudette is the new executive director of the Haliburton Highlands Chamber of Commerce. And Bob is just newly into the job in the past few weeks. And Bob, first of all, thanks for doing this. Good to chat with you.
Thanks for having me.
Not at all, not at all. And tell us, how have the first few weeks in the job been for you?
So it's been really exciting. So I've come in at a very interesting time. You know, we're all kind of trying to reemerge after the effects of COVID, and we're patiently watching what's happening and what the new direction will be. The board has been working on a strategic plan. So I was lucky enough to arrive, and, you know, there's momentum forward and some lofty goals. And then Amanda Kahn has been hanging around and bringing me up to speed on the role and, you know, how things work and what we need to do. So I've come in at a good time. They've made it really easy for me to kind of get into the role and get moving forward.
Yeah, that's really nice. It's always nice to come into a job and know that there's a direction that's either being planned or has been planned, and it gives you an opportunity to shape that as you go forward. You come to the job, Bob, with some not inconsiderate number of skills, and maybe you could tell everyone what attracted you to this position.
Sure. So for most of my life, I was a small business owner or, you know, a partner in a tech firm. And so I know what it's like to be an entrepreneur, the stresses, the successes, you know, the pros and cons of that type of a life. And I think we forget, you know, how much people kind of are taking risks when they're, you know, running their own businesses. And it's critical to communities because that's where our local economy, you know, is driven by, and they create opportunity within the community for others to have employment opportunities. And when you step back and you look at it, it's pretty easy to identify that group of folks that are, you know, that are doing that and say, hey, how can I give a hand, or how can I help the chamber better support those individuals so we can have a thriving community in Haliburton County? And I've been working on different groups and tables with different hats on over the past 4 years. I was working at the John Howard Society in skills development. So we were working on things like pre-employment training and social skills training, and, you know, kind of attacking it from the other side. So how do we help upskill folks that are looking for employment? And so I think bringing those two things together kind of brings a full package into what the chamber can offer moving forward, or just expand on what they've historically been doing, because they've been doing great work since, I forget the date, but I was surprised. It was around the 1930s, I think, was first established.
A little bit before our time.
Yeah, for sure. So I mean, they're a tree planted in the middle of this community. So I was excited to be able to participate, and, you know, I love giving back to the community because the community gives back to us. As cheesy as that might sound, you know, I'm a true believer that, you know, we're kind of all in it together.
Well, your past experience as a small business owner, an entrepreneur, will set you up well, because you know the challenges. And certainly as we're coming out of COVID, many small businesses have had severe challenges and are now looking forward to a better future. So I would take it from what you're saying, you believe that the chamber can be an important partner to small businesses as they start to ramp up again.
Oh, absolutely. So I think we all need somewhere to go for support, regardless of whether this is small business or work or your personal life. And the chamber is positioned to be that person in the community, and has historically been that for folks. So I'm excited to, you know, maybe bring some other elements to what the chamber does in terms of everything we've just gone through in the last 2 years. I took a step back and asked myself how challenging it would have been to have uncertainty as a business operator, to watch the community change, kind of very quickly over the past 2 years in terms of, there was a big change in who was coming up. The tourism season shifted to be a little longer. Everybody had to pivot their business plans. Some folks struggled. Other businesses had great success. And so what a time of change. And so along with that much change and uncertainty, I think there are supports that employers need that I don't know that they're automatically connected to. So if you're part of a large corporation, you might have an EAP program so you can find somebody to speak to if you're feeling overly stressed or, having some mental health issues or just life work balance issues. And I don't know that small business owners know that those programs are accessible to them in the community already existing. So as well as supporting your business, you got to support yourself. And I think the Chamber has always been positioned to do that well. And I just want to remind people that we're here, not just to help you grow your business and maybe be more financially successful, but how do you look after yourself and your family in a way?
And I think if these entrepreneurial businesses, and I know many of them already do, look at the Chamber as a gathering place, a place where their opinions and the opinions of others around them who are going through similar experiences can really be a big help. And that the Chamber is a marvelous clearinghouse for those kinds of communications. It's long been an important support for business, not only in Haliburton, but right across Canada and throughout the world.
We all need to get together with our peers, people that have things in common with us so that we can talk about what we're experiencing and what's worked for us and what isn't working for us. And then when you get a group of individuals together like that, you build some level of solidarity, and now you have enough power to start impacting things like policy and change and red tape and all of that good stuff. So, now you consolidate your power in a way that you can influence and have impact. And I think that's kind of central to what the Chamber is about, advocacy.
Yeah.
How do we get together as a group and start to have some determination or have some influence over, the policies and things like that directly impact us and the community. So
it's important to remember too, Bob, isn't it, that the Chamber is a huge organization beyond Haliburton, and that one of the real benefits for the entrepreneur is that there are other inputs and services available outside of the Haliburton Highlands Chamber of Commerce that you can draw on and bring to bear on the local community. It's a powerful national force.
It is. So you have the provincial chamber, and then you also have the Canadian Chamber of Commerce. So if you look at the consolidated strength of all of that membership in terms of what it can do from an advocacy standpoint, but what can you do as a collective buying group? So, one of the most popular programs is the Chamber benefits, whereas a self-employed individual, you can participate in getting health benefits.
I would imagine at this stage, Bob, you're busy trying to meet everybody. Obviously, you've met all the board members, and you'll have opportunities to meet the members at various activities. And you have a members-only event coming up, and Lori Scott is going to be speaking to your members, which is good timing for her and will be interesting for the members as well.
Yeah, so on April 20th, Lori's coming. It's going to be a small group. There's 45 seats. We wanted to keep it something very intimate, so you really felt like you could be part of the conversation. And the goal of the event is to have Lori Scott share her perspective on Haliburton County moving forward. We do still have tickets available for the event. If you go to haliburtonchamber.com, you'll see the ad on the front page. it's a great opportunity to just kind of get a longer view at what the, what's coming for Haliburton County from Lori Scott's point of view, and also to get together with other members who are like-minded in attending an event like that to talk about your inputs, into what you see as a longer-term vision. Because earlier we were talking about this is a community in the midst of change due to COVID, but there's also some other changes. We have a whole new group of people moving into the community at a higher rate than ever before. So what is it that we want this community to be, and what piece do we play in it as a chamber, and what opportunities and influences can you have as a small business owner?
Yeah, it's a very exciting time, because there are certainly new opportunities that will come out of this growth in the population. There'll also be challenges because of that growth. And the chamber is one of those units in the county that will be terribly important in helping not only chart the course of the future, but also provide insights that will help our political masters lead the county in the right direction. So we're on the cusp of some interesting times in the future.
Yeah, for sure. And I think the chamber's responsibility is to be a conduit for information exchange. So the last thing you have as a business owner is lots of spare time.
Yeah.
So let us condense the news for you, the updates. Let's be able to break down funding opportunities and government policies, and let's save you some time in those areas by either developing expertise here on the topics or connecting you to those services and organizations in the community that already have expertise in those areas. So we hope to continue to be that conduit to really save people time and help demystify a lot of things, because as you know, reading through a proposal document is about as fun as, reading your encyclopedia. So let's break it down to the core of what does this mean to you and how can you take advantage? Or maybe you disagree with it, and what do we do with that information at that point?
Bob, the membership of the Haliburton Highlands Chamber of Commerce has grown over the past few years, and certainly the services and I think the profile of the chamber has changed over the last decade as well. Going forward, what are your immediate hopes or opportunities that you see now that you're in the role as executive director?
Yeah, so I think I kind of referenced earlier, I really want to make sure that business owners are looking after themselves and that they have access to all of the community supports, that everybody else does. And everybody else typically gets that through their employer. So number one, I want to make sure everybody's looked after and knows how to access the supports that they need, because I don't know that small business owners have, been very closely tied to those types of things historically. Following up on that, I really don't want to come in with any plans. I want to be able to talk to the membership, because there's a couple of things about Haliburton County. One is you can't apply information and data from other communities to this community. We are very unique in many ways. And so I want to hear from the members, and I want to gather data on what is it that they see as their growth points? What are they struggling with? What do they see the future of this community being? And then what's my role and the chamber's role in terms of how do we help move those goals and issues forward? To just pick one specific segment, I think digital transformation is very exciting. There's a lot of funding available to help businesses expand or just establish their first online presence. How do we make use of readily available technologies to save us time so you can have more time with your family and not be up to 3 a.m. doing your book accounting? Those are technologies that we can apply. They don't necessarily, ensure that you're going to have a better bottom line, but, maybe you get to spend more time with your family or out on the golf course. And I think those are huge. Those are huge pluses in, today's society, just to be able to have a better work-life balance.
Well, I think you're very wise, Bob, coming into the job with that kind of attitude. I've also found that Haliburton people, Haliburton County people, can be very suspicious of people that come in and say, well, here's what I learned either in the big city or in this situation. And they want to see what you're going to do with the knowledge of Haliburton. And so I think, taking it in a paced manner and finding out from everybody is a smart thing to do. Well, I congratulate you on your arrival. Thanks for taking time with us today, and all best wishes for you in this new position. And certainly the community will be watching with great interest. And I guess in closing, we should say to entrepreneurs and businesses that are not a member of the Chamber to please look into it. It could be not only good for your business, but as Bob has described, it could be good for you as well. Thanks very much, Bob. All the very best.
Thank you, Mike.
Our guest today has been Bob Gaudette, and Bob is the new Executive Director of the Haliburton Highlands Chamber of Commerce.